My name is Nick Allen. I'm president of the HEMA Club at VCU. This is David, one of our Rotmeisters, and today we're talking about the MADS drill. This is a drill that teaches you what to do if you get into winding against an Oberhau. So let's say my friend and I are fighting and we've both done a Zornhau. We're now in a bind. In this bind, I can either be strong, where my point is online and my opponent's point is not, or I can be weak, where his point is online and mine is not. There are a few things that I can do from these situations. If I am strong, I can do what's called Duplieren, which is I can wind up into an ox position and then thrust into his lower opening. This is good because if we end up here and I try to wind and he tries to go high, I can mutate the strike and go down underneath like that. If I am strong, I can do binding, then winding into ox. Or I can bind and thrust directly into his face. Notice how when we are doing this binding and winding into ox, it looks a lot like Absetzen. The difference is that Absetzen is a single-time countermeasure where you end up in this position. This binding and winding is where you hit and wind. It's a two-tempo counter. We simply call it Absetzen for naming's sake because it makes our cool acronym work. If I am weak, then there's two things I can do. If I can leave the bind because he's pushing really hard, I can do what's called Snoppen, which is where my pommel rolls like that and my blade ends up on his helmet. Or if I want to be quicker and I can still leave the bind, then I can lift off and hit down. Notice here I'm actually protected if he tries to do a false edge cut upwards. Now, if I can't leave the bind because he is making it impossible, something like this, then I can do what's called Duplieren, which is where my left wrist slides under, and because of the force that he's applying, that forces his blade into my crossguard, and I can wind up. So if we're doing this and he is applying pressure in the bind, it looks like that, because he's applying that pressure, which then forces his blade into my crossguard. Let's switch sides and do it from the other side. So if I'm strong, I can do here, and I can do Duplieren, or I can be here and do the winding Absetzen variation. If I'm weak, I can lift off, or Snoppen, there, or I can do Duplieren if I can't leave the bind. This is an effective drill to be able to create a simple decision tree and be able to take maximum advantage of any opportunities your opponent presents. Thank you very much.